And welcome to CBC Alumni Focus. I am your host, Rob Stagenborg, the Alumni Director. And again, big rock and roll fan. So my favorite guitar player in town is none other than Jerry Jost, class of 1991. Jerry, welcome to the CBC Alumni Focus.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, as you guys know, Jerry is a 1991 grad. Obviously, the Jost family is known for their hockey skills, but Jerry broke the mold, and he was actually the guitar player for a little band called The Urge. He does some gigs with Joe Dirt, Luca Brassi, and I'm probably going to forget the 8 other bands that you've been part of. But certainly, he's been a very popular guitar player here in town. And I just want to ask you how you've been doing this during the pandemic. You've been able to play.
A little bit here and there. The Urge hasn't really done anything. I think we're getting ready to crank it up pretty soon. We got some stuff coming up. It looks like in August and September. So we're kind of just waiting to be able to do it right. We had the opportunity to do some things during it, but we just chose to wait it out with the Urge. But we have been able to do some other things in my other bands, mostly outdoor stuff and, things that are, we did like one of those drive-in shows and a couple of things like that were, safe during the pandemic.
Well, as a guy who plays up on stage, I mean, you realize, you feed off the energy of the audience, and you feed off that closeness and everybody getting into the jam. But, when you're like socially distanced, and like, how different was it to play those events? I have to imagine it'd be a lot different.
Yeah, the drive-in one, we did that with my band Joe Dirt, and that was very weird playing the cars. And people just kind of, really spread out and far away. But, we made the best of it. We were just happy to still be playing. The reason the Urge didn't play a show, we probably could have done something at the pageant in front of like 300 people, really spread out. And we just kind of decided that wasn't best suited for what we do. We're kind of one of those bands that thrive off energy and people in front jumping around, going crazy. And we just didn't think that really suited what we do. So we just decided to wait it out, but we'll get it going soon.
So you're kind of announcing new music for the Urge possibly this summer. That's kind of breaking news for a lot of people here in St. Louis.
Yeah, we're gonna play some shows, and we're gonna start getting together, and we got a bunch of ideas. Maybe put out some new music and some other stuff. So yeah, we're still doing stuff. So
this summer, I mean, you guys always play like 4th of July festivals. You guys are definitely a festival band. Are you booked on festivals this year? Where can people kind of see you this year?
We don't
have Joe Dirt
booked yet. There's talk of doing some, or just haven't figured out. And I think everybody with all these venues is kind of just waiting out to see how it's really going to shake out. But I know we've been getting emails and stuff, and we have a bunch of irons in the fire, but we don't have anything booked for this summer yet. But we think there is going to be something. We just don't know what yet. And then I know we'll do I know we'll do a November show at the pageant. I'm not sure exactly what the date is, but we usually do 1 or 2 shows at the pageant in November. So that'll definitely happen. So,
and I gotta imagine when those fans come back, I mean, that's going to be just a crazy atmosphere. It's gonna be a lot of fun for you guys. I mean, you guys kind of suffered it, but when people come back, they're going to be just chomping at the bit for live music.
For sure, I've seen that with some of the other shows and some of the other cover bands that play, and that we've kind of played a few shows here and there, and people are ready to go. I really think it's going to be the Roaring 20s when this thing's over. I think it's going to be bananas. I'm looking forward to it.
I know a lot of things have kind of changed with the pandemic, and again, a lot of musicians are creating their own podcasts, kind of bringing their own music.
Sure.
You've done a couple podcast shows and stuff like that. I mean, is it a matter of just keeping playing, or is it just a matter of still connecting with the fans, or what was the value of doing those?
Oh, a little bit of both. Yeah, for me, it was just like, oh God, I got to do something. I have to put my hands on this guitar and get something going. Mm-hmm. So it was just a way to do stuff. So I was like, well, everybody else is kind of doing online stuff, so I'm going to try it too. Where I just was kind of doing like these. It was almost like a name that tune where I'd play like 7 songs or 7 guitar intros or 7 guitar solos or something. And then people would try to comment and try to guess what they were. It was just something fun to do, mainly out of boredom. Because when we were, that was during the dog days of the lockdown where nobody was going outside. It was weird.
So, being in the band, you come here to CBC. And one thing, we just had the senior breakfast yesterday. And we kind of told the students, look around, because the guy sitting next to you, you may never see him again. Or the guy sitting across from you, you might end up, becoming his brother-in-law or something. You never know. And so I kind of think about you and John Pisoni. I mean, John's a CBC grad as well. You guys
Yep.
not really know each other. And next thing you know, the next 25 years of your life, John's like your brother. You want to talk about
Yeah.
your relationship with John?
Oh man. So John's a year older than me. I
Okay.
mean, grade wise, he's in 90, I'm in 91. And, we didn't hang out with any of the same people or anything like that in like early days at high school. But then, we were in band together and all that stuff. And we started playing in a band, a band outside of school together. And then we've been playing together ever since. I don't think there's been a year that's gone by where we haven't done some kind of project together. So we're kind of brothers that way. And, we're really just with each other a lot. We really get along great. We got a lot of the same tastes. We like the same music. So yeah, we play in. I've played in several bands with him over the years, and he's a super talented dude. So it's kind of nice.
And I would say, like as you guys develop your own style, and I think guitar players and drummers really are kind of the technicians behind the whole thing, and they make everything really work. So I could see how you guys' minds work together. But was that something that you kind of developed over time, or kind of when you first started jamming with them, you guys knew that you kind of hit it off, or kind of how?
Well,
Oh,
I was in 8th grade, and he had just started CBC. I can remember, and we met through people. And then the next year when I started going to CBC, we got to become, really close and, became really good friends. And then he's such a talent. Even back then, he was just had so much natural ability and talent. And what's good about John is he's a great drummer and everything, but he's also a really good guitar player, really good singer. He's just a complete package when it comes to music. And so we definitely kind of speak the same language musically, and just have always enjoyed playing together musically. I mean, he's got a really easygoing personality, so we just work together really well. So, it's good. And a lot of that was we did that in Jerry Arana and band class at CBC. I mean, if there's anybody that, there's a few people responsible for helping me get to, whatever level we got to, and Jerry Arana was one of them for sure. He got me to be prepared and work harder than I'd ever worked at trying to be good at my instrument for sure.
So, I was having some conversation with some people about, obviously your role in the Urge and St. Louis band. A lot of people, have a tremendous following, and you mentioned the Urge, and soon, people get really excited. But someone actually said that, well, you guys actually do way better doing Joe Dirt and just doing cover music, and that Joe Dirt actually, that's the franchise, and the Urge is kind of the sizzle. But is that true, or is that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe, it depends. Joe Dirt's great, and I like playing it a lot, and it definitely keeps my chops up.
Yeah.
And it still keeps me, playing the guitar in front of people. And I really think that's a muscle that if you don't use, I'm definitely afraid it's going to go away. So playing, 4 or 5 times, 6 times a month is a good thing. The Urge, we never ever want to play St. Louis too much where people get sick of us, and it's just like this normal thing. We always want to keep it special. So that's why we usually do in St. Louis, we'll do a summer show and November shows at the pageant. And usually that's about it. Now we go out and play shows, Kansas City, and some of our old markets like Omaha, we'll hit Chicago and some other places like that. But other than that, we only probably play about, maybe 8 times a year. And we haven't played in over a year now since due to the pandemic. So we're very excited to get back together and play. That's for sure. And be around each other. We also really enjoy being with each other a lot too. So it's good times.
You can tell in the shows you guys are just, you guys are buddies and you like each other. It's not like Joe Wallace punching Glenn Fry in the face and walking off the stage, So, but I was going to ask you again, when some of the Urge kind of first started, it was a different kind of era in music. Well, now music's become very digital and very, playlisty and Spotify. How has that affected your, how you approach the business, or has it?
Well, it's actually, it's nice for us. We don't need a record label anymore. We used to, need a record label to process, everything like that. You can just do it on our own. So the last album we made was called The Urge made is called Galvanized. We did it all ourselves. We recorded it in our drummer John Hughes studio. He basically produced it and engineered it, and we put it out ourselves, did all the artwork ourselves, just did everything ourselves. So there's nobody, we don't have to compromise. We don't have to take anybody else's opinion, or, you know, we don't get notes from anybody. This is the most representative of what we do, just done by us. And we can put it out there for total consumption. It's out there right now. You can, you know, anybody can go get it. And we get all the money.
Wow.
That's just nice.
Great. That's great. But it's a new model. It's a new model that's helping bands. You're right. It's definitely a new way of doing business, and it's definitely
it's great. Now, I don't know if we have the, you know, the machine to, you know, make it as, you know, huge marketing wise and all that stuff, you know, as much as Sony Records does. But for our core fans and through social media and all that, we can get the word out enough, and our core fans know about the album and they'll go buy it. So it's pretty cool.
I mentioned earlier, obviously your family, big hockey fans, big CBC hockey fans, state champions again here this past year. Do your brothers ever get you on the ice and kind of just hip check you in the wall? Just, hey, rock and roll boy, we don't need you around here. Or do you still hold your own? You still hold your own enough?
No, I try, but not as like those guys, that's for sure. And my nephews too. Wow. But yeah, I got to go to the state game. It was awesome. I got to kind of weasel my way in there, and it was something special. That was for sure. I was so glad to see some people in the building, and I was really happy for my brother John and the team to get the W. It was awesome.
Also want to bring you back to a moment at kind of at the old school. You and John came over and you played a little concert for the students during the lunchtime or whatever. It was actually a really cool sort of event. Do you remember that? Or was that the old campus? Just you and John were there for a visit or whatever?
Well, you know, we used to do that back in the other day. Mr. Ford, Jim Ford, the campus minister there, and he was a great guy, and we really loved him. He was awesome, and he used to do this thing called Live Aid. Yep. And that was during lunch, and people would give up their lunch, and you'd either go to the theater, or sometimes they did it in the cafeteria, and get, you know, whoever wanted to play could get together and play and do something. You know, it was really great. Mm-hmm. And I think they, you know, once we were out of school, we came back and did one for him, and that was a lot of fun. But Jim Ford's the best. I love that guy. Yeah.
Real quick, just want to give you an opportunity. Is any of your classmates you want to give a shout out to? Anybody want to say hi or get on? I know there's probably a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I just had was the best thing about CBC is, like, you know, out of nowhere, I'll get a text, from a group text. Just got one a couple days ago. A buddy of mine named Rob George, class of '91, texted everybody, and it was me, Matt Hennessy, Jay Mullen, Mark Delaney, the whole group of guys that I was buddies with, and it kind of took me back. Great guys.
Great. And again, we get that from everybody because it's that whole brotherhood sort of thing. So what's going on for you next? I mean, obviously you got hoping to get back to live performing. The Urge, you know, gonna be rolling some of that new music. I'm sure you'll have some activities, but kind of what's in the future for you in the immediate, and then maybe it's a little bit more the long term.
Sure. So during one of the things that was really cool is my brother Mike is also a drummer, and we started this band years ago after the Urge broke up. We started this band called Luca Brassi. And it's just straight up original music. Thing was, we would get together every Wednesday night. Most people go golfing. Most people, you know, play fantasy football. We would get together and have band practice and write songs. And it'd just be fun, reason to get together and go hang out. And so then when the Urge got back together, and we kind of put that to the side, we weren't really doing it so much. Well, during the pandemic, we were just looking at each other going, all right, we got to start doing something. So we started sending files to each other, song ideas, little guitar parts, little drum parts, back and forth to each other, me, Mike, and 3 other guys. And we were able to put together a full album. So it's done. It's finally finished. And it's, so there's a new Luca Brasi album that's going to be coming out hopefully in a couple weeks here. So, and it's 12 new songs that we wrote during the pandemic. And so it was really, really fun, and really kind of kept me sane during the whole thing without playing music. So
Sure.
I was kind of focused on that. So new Luca Brassi album. So really, really excited about that. And then in the near future, I'll be playing shows. I'm also in a cover band called the John Hughes Experience, which is like all 80s kind of new wave, Tears for Fears and The Cure and all those kind of covers. So that's been a lot of fun. And I do that with John Pizzoni as well.
Cool.
And then Joe Dirt's got shows coming up too. And then towards the end of the summer, August, September, there's going to be Urge shows coming up too. So now it's time to see if I can remember how to really play guitar.
There you go.
Now I'm trying to get serious about it again. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I got one final question, but before I get to that, just want to ask, how's your family doing? Everybody's healthy and doing well?
Everybody's doing really good. Yeah, sure. We all work together at Southside Machine and Fulton Iron Works, and everybody's doing really good. We're getting ready to go up to Columbus for my nephew Johnny, Johnson, and his wedding. So we're doing that this weekend. Looking forward to it. Kind of hanging out. We're gonna go wild.
And your wife and kids, everybody's doing good?
They're good. I have an 8th grader going into NARICS. I have 3 girls. 8th grader going into NARICS. I have a 5th grader and a kindergartner. So that's keeping me on my toes for sure.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I tremendously have a lot of respect. I love music. I've always loved music, love guitar. I can't play a lick, but I always really enjoyed watching you play and just really appreciate it. But, as I kind of close out this interview, the rock and world, we've lost a lot of people Eddie Van Halen, just so many people. Who are some of the deaths you think that really will kind of, I don't want to say shock people, but that will kind of linger on, that the impact of that person maybe will be felt down the road?
Well, losing Eddie Van Halen for one. That was the first one. Man, that was a drag. I'll never gonna hear that guy play guitar again or live, and anything new from him. That kind of hit me hard. And then Neil Peart from Rush died. That was kind of rough too. It's like, wow, that's two heavy hitters right in a row there,
Sure.
But I'm a huge Eddie Van Halen fan. Luckily I got to see him play live a couple times, and his music will definitely live on because he's the GOAT.
And Les, I told you last question. Do you listen to more new music, or do you like the classics, or do you do mix?
When I try to listen to new stuff for sure, and but I'm always going to kind of gravitate to the more guitar-oriented music. My thing is I'm trying to learn about important music that came out that influenced later stuff. So like I'm trying to go back and find out all these old kind of weird bands that weren't too well known. It's like a band like Television and just kind of strange bands that influenced the stuff that I really like now, just to kind of do a little history. So that's, if I'm looking back, a band called Big Star, some stuff like that. I want to go back and learn about these guys. So,
and that's a great thing about music. It's the history of music is all in it's in the music itself. It's just the changes in the styles and the technology.
Yeah, and it's just a constant search. I'm always searching for the song that moves me, that makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
That's great. Well, listen, Jerry, appreciate all the time you've given us, and good luck with everything this summer, and looking forward to seeing you. And again, as we kind of get word where you'll be playing, we'll kind of share that out with social media people. Don't be surprised to get some CBC people, in the front row screaming for you. I know you'd like that. So again, well, thank you for your time. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, no, I appreciate it. This is a lot of fun, Rob.
Cool.
I like watching these little podcasts you do. They're great.
Well, cool. Well, thank you. Again, I'm going to put you on hold, put you on pause, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And this is the Alumni Focus. Jerry Jost, look for new music this August from The Urge, and his other bands coming out this summer as well. So, Jerry, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, Rob.